Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Stephen Curry welcomed to China by a massive crowd of fans. Stephen Curry received an incredible welcome from fans in China as he arrived to kick off his promotional tour for the Curry brand. Curry has clearly garnered a large fan base in the country and they showed up in big numbers for him. It is great to see fans show Curry so much love even away from the US. Another angle showed Curry entering the hotel walking past a horde of excited fans who just wanted to interact with him and wanted him to sign some of their artifacts and memorabilia. To truly put Curry's popularity in China into perspective, we found another clip that gave an aerial view of Curry's entrance into the hotel, which shows how many fans waited in the crowd for him to come. Curry has been on a promotional tour for the past few weeks for several different projects. Over the previous weeks, Curry was doing the rounds to promote his children's graphic novel, and spoke on several subjects including his Golden State Warriors and his relationship with LeBron James. When talking about the Warriors, he noted that the franchise, despite losing Klay Thompson, is still a title contender next season. On top of that, he also claimed that he wanted to retire with the Golden State Warriors. Curry is still extremely dedicated to the franchise. When talking about his relationship with LeBron James, he noted that it was an interesting experience going from rivals to teammates with him, but the two developed a strong bond and friendship during their time with Team USA. He also told a story about taking a compliment from James that helped him get out of his funk. For fans, this promotional tour with Curry has been a great opportunity to see Curry interact with his supporters. He shared a wholesome moment with a young fan who was struck when he saw him, and on the Today's show he surprised a group of young fans and attendants by showing them his gold medal from their Olympics. Despite Stephen Curry's opinion on the Warriors being contenders, there is no denying that the team is weaker this season compared to last, and the Warriors are well aware of this, with the front office acknowledging privately that their team is not constructed to win an NBA championship. The Warriors have been hard at work during the off-season trying to land an all-star caliber player to pair with Stephen Curry. The Warriors attempted to land Paul George and Lauri Markkanen during the off-season but were rebuffed by the Clippers and Jazz respectively. The front office will now have to look to the regular season and wait for an all-star to become available on the trade market. Each season there is at least one all-star caliber player who becomes disgruntled and demands a trade from their team. The Warriors will try to pounce on that but need their current crop of young stars to perform well in the meantime to give them a chance to compete come time for the playoffs. The franchise expects young guard Brandon Podziemski to take a big leap next season and play at a high level. It will be interesting to see if he or other young stars like Jonathan Kinger and Moses Moody can step up and deliver at a higher level than before to improve their team. Bob Myers' simple reason for leaving the Warriors last season. Former Golden State Warriors general manager and occasionally ESPN basketball analyst Bob Myers left his job as GM of the most successful modern franchise before the start of last season after an 11-year tenure with the top job on the franchise. He has discussed the reasons for his departure, once again issuing a simple reason why he couldn't continue in that role. "I was done. I just couldn't do it. I care too much to not give my best." Bob Myers resigned as GM last season, with many people questioning why he'd leave his post as one of the highest paid executives in the NBA who played an integral role in building the last dynasty the sport had seen. It was a multitude of factors, but it's clear Myers decided to leave before the ship started upturning, with their team missing the playoffs in their first year under Mike Dunleavy Jr. The team has made interesting moves this summer, but it seems the dynastic heyday Myers oversaw a decade ago is deep in the rear-view mirror. You can't move forward without letting go of the past, and it seems Myers valued his relationships with the core of the franchise far too much to also lead them through an inevitable breakup. Myers' decision to leave was also influenced by the Klay Thompson decision that Dunleavy Jr. had to make this summer and last season. He didn't want to be the one to tear down such an iconic trio, but he also didn't want to take the responsibility for the lack of wins. Sticking with the core at this age could lead to, "Well, this is why I left." First of all, a lot of times people will say it's just business, but this is not a just business situation. There is going to be a statue of Klay outside of Chase Center. He was instrumental in bringing 4 championships. He's beloved inside the organization. And with the fan base, this is why it was hard for me, Malika, because you have relationships with these people, especially if you succeeded with them, and that core has been together for 12 years and that's just so rare now, it just doesn't happen. Thompson left this summer and Dunleavy Jr. seems to be changing the identity of the team. They're aggressively chasing co-stars in the trade market, something Myers never had to do due to the team's great draft track record and shrewd off-season acquisitions. The team's future doesn't look bright right now, still relying on a 36-year-old Stephen Curry without an adequate co-star that can help him carry the load, but they hope a deep rotation of veterans and ascendant young talent can create enough success for another playoff push. Grade the trade. Warriors go all in for Jimmy Butler. Indiana blockbuster mock trade scenario. The Golden State Warriors are heading into the 2020-42 season with an uncertain future as the franchise hopes that replacing Klay Thompson and Chris Paul with Buddy Hield to Anthony Melton and Kyle Anderson will improve results this season, but in an ultra-competitive West these moves might not be enough to compete alongside the top for a franchise that failed to make the playoffs last season. On the other conference, the Miami Heat are approaching the end of the road for their run with Jimmy Butler. His future with the franchise looks cloudy after reports that he expects to hit free agency and Pat Riley openly declaring that Butler needs to abide by specific conditions to get a new contract from the team. This might be the perfect time for the Warriors to pounce on a win-now player to give Stephen Curry another chance at a title. Butler's age, injury history and contract uncertainty means that he can't fetch the massive trade haul one expects from a superstar player. However, he still is important enough to fetch such a package. The Warriors will be taking a massive risk by making this deal, but could emerge as massive winners if Butler delivers for them and makes them a contender. In the West, the acquisition of Jimmy Butler would make the Warriors considerably older, especially with the departure of Jonathan Kuminga, but Butler is a proven playoff performer who is capable of leading a team to the NBA Finals in a secondary offensive role behind Curry. Butler can not only conserve his health for the postseason but be the defensive menace he has remained even as he ages. He and Draymond Green can be conductors of a fierce defensive setup. Butler averaged 20.8 points, 5.3 rebounds and 5.0 assists last season, struggling with injuries for a big chunk of the regular season and getting hurt during the play-in tournament. He's proven he can be one of the league's most clutch performers provided he has the right infrastructure around him to support him. The Warriors have the perfect weapons for that with the likes of Green to Anthony Melton and breakout sophomore Brandon Podmski. Josh Richardson is a multi-positional asset who could be a valuable 3-and-D veteran for the Warriors when needed. He averaged 9.9 points, 2.8 rebounds and 2.4 assists last season. The losses of multiple rotational players won't be easy to replace, especially a leader like Looney, but there are options on the market for centers to play behind Tracy Jackson Davis and Draymond, with Green expected to continue playing minutes at center for the franchise. This is a risk, but it might be worthwhile to maximize the twilight of Curry's prime. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.